How does a 7-year prison sentence become more than 50 years? It's a question that has baffled prison officers, judges, psychologists, politicians, and the public. Because when Michael Gordon Peterson walked into prison in 1974, nobody imagined he would still be there half a century later. He wasn't a serial killer. He wasn't a terrorist. He wasn't Britain's biggest drug trafficker. He hadn't committed multiple murders. He was 21 years old, and he'd just been sentenced to 7 years for armed robbery. So what happened? How did Michael Peterson disappear and Charles Bronson take his place? This is that story. Long before Britain knew the name Charles Bronson, there was only Michael Gordon Peterson. He was born on the 6th of December 1952 in Luton, Bedfordshire. By all accounts, his childhood wasn't unusual. His parents worked hard. His mother loved him. His father believed in discipline. There was food on the table. There wasn't the neglect, abuse, or the chaotic upbringing that often appears in stories like this. Michael was energetic, fearless, always looking for excitement. He boxed, loved physical challenges, and quickly earned a reputation for refusing to back down. If somebody challenged him, he accepted. If somebody wanted a fight, he rarely walked away. It wasn't because he hated people. It was because he seemed to enjoy proving something. Strength mattered. Respect mattered. As he grew older, that appetite for confrontation never disappeared. He drifted between jobs, worked as a laborer, even joined a traveling circus for a time, where he became known as a strong man. It suited him. He loved performing, loved making people watch. Looking back, that might be one of the first clues. Because Michael Peterson didn't just enjoy attention, he seemed to need it. By 1974, Michael Peterson wanted more money. Fast money. Together with another man, he planned the robbery of a local post office. It wasn't sophisticated. It wasn't the work of organized crime. Around 26 pounds was taken. The pair were arrested almost immediately. The robbery itself was almost laughably small, but armed robbery wasn't. The courts treated it seriously. Michael Peterson stood before the judge, 21 years old. The sentence, 7 years, not 50, not life, 7. If Michael Peterson had quietly served that sentence, there's every chance nobody outside his family would remember his name today. But prison had other plans. Or perhaps Michael Peterson did. Prison didn't simply punish Michael Peterson. It transformed him. Almost immediately, he fought other prisoners, then prison officers. Violence became routine. Transfers became frequent. Punishments became longer. Every time he arrived somewhere new, his reputation arrived first. Then something changed. Michael Peterson disappeared behind a new identity. Charles Bronson. He chose the name after the Hollywood actor, famous for playing hard men. It wasn't a legal change. It wasn't official. It was something much more powerful. A reinvention. Michael Peterson had entered prison. Charles Bronson intended further away. The 7-year sentence was disappearing, replaced by a reputation. A man behind the myth. The headlines only ever showed one side of Charles Bronson. The violence, the chaos, the hostage taker. The man stripped to the waist, covered in tattoos, waiting for officers to come through the door. But prison is measured in years, not headlines. And while the public only saw moments, Bronson had to live every single day. He trained obsessively. Hours of exercise, thousands of press-ups, endless routines. His body became another weapon, another layer of the persona he'd built. But there was another side, too. He painted, he wrote poetry, he produced cartoons. He filled notebooks with drawings. Some were dark. Some were funny. Some were surprisingly gentle. The contrast confused people. How could someone capable of such violence also create art? Perhaps the answer is simpler than it seems. Prison leaves people with one thing: time, an endless amount of it. Over the decades, Bronson turned that time into routines. Anything to keep his mind occupied, because solitary confinement doesn't simply lock the door. It forces a man to spend every hour with himself. Years became decades. Prisons changed. Governments changed. Prime ministers came and went. The world outside moved on. Inside, life barely changed at all. Friends disappeared. Family grew older. Some died. Technology transformed the world. The internet arrived. Mobile phones became part of everyday life. Children who hadn't even been born when Bronson entered prison were now adults with children of their own. Michael Peterson never experienced any of it. His world was measured in prison wings, exercise yards, cell doors, and the sound of keys turning in locks. It's almost impossible to imagine. Not weeks, not months, not even years, decades. Whatever you think of Charles Bronson, few people will ever understand what that does to a human being. This is where opinions divide. Some people believe Charles Bronson has nobody to blame but where he belongs. One of Britain's most dangerous prisoners. A man whose own actions destroyed every chance he was given. More than 50 years after walking through those gates, the question still remains: did prison create Charles Bronson? Or did Charles Bronson create himself? Thank you for watching House of True Crime. Until next time, stay safe out there and be good people.